الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. والسلام على من لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
يا مولى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى شرف النبي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم على أستاذنا وأستاذ الصديق ومؤمنات المسلمين حجروا وكل الأولياء من قول الله تعالى الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن شاء الله Allah make inshallah this place one for the sake of Allah Almighty, for the sake of Allah Almighty, and for also the Sunnah, surviving Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah make everyone in here to be under the shafa'ah of Rasulullah, the mercies of Allah Almighty, forgiveness of Allah Almighty, mercies of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And all, inshallah, will be in neighborhood to Allah Almighty and to Rasulullah in Jannah, in paradises, by maqam lillahi ta'ala al-Fatiha.
Alhamdulillahi alamin ar-Rahman ar-Rahim maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin.
Inshallah, from all of you, Allah accept from you. Thank you so much. Allah make it and be so.
You cut one side and Maulana cut the other side. Together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم فتح الابواب فتح لنا خير الابواب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما شاء الله لا قوة الا بالله العلي العظيم.
للمتقين مفازا حدائق وعنابا وكواكب أترابا وكأسا دهاقا لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد.
Coming to anyone of his relatives or the Muslim community, then say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam surviving the sunnah of Rasulullah by making such a place where the Muslim community can manage for their funerals to be washed and covered and to be waiting to be prayed on them and then to be buried. It's something which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam refers to, made it in his time to the Sahaba on Jannatul Baqiyah, on the paradise Baqiyah, which is the cemetery of Madinatul Munawwara. And so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make the funeral to be washed and to be well covered, dressed, and then when it is ready, they call Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah used to come and visit the Sahaba and to pray, and then to be buried. Then nowadays, most of the people, they are washing their funerals and making all this in their houses. Also, nowadays, houses and apartments is so small, difficult, so they are obliged to go to hospitals or to places where it is the Muslim community like to have their own place for the funerals to be washed and to be prepared for praying and burial. And Allah Almighty, alhamdulillah, making Sheikh Sadri Ghaus and his family and his mother, and before him his father was the chairman and the most big, he was big alim and also big deputy and khalif on the Sufi ways and the ways coming from Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu and Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu. And so he was also well dressed by spirituality, and he was planning for this in his life. And then Allah blessed him by his two sons to carry on this line, and they continue and arrange to build such a thing which is the benefit not for them, but the benefit going to the Muslim community and to the Muslim families, and Allah will reward them according, because their intention is only for the sake of Allah Almighty, spending all this money not for benefit to them, except rewarding, Allah rewarding them in day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, in this life, and Allah making all the good tidings descending on surviving this sunnah of Rasulullah and the order of Allah Almighty. The Muslim must be well washed and well dressed by the kafan, and then to be praying on him and to bury him. And so for these whom they have some ones dying in hospitals or here there, instead to be waiting in these fridge of the hospitals and their families in the villages, they are able now to have a place to come, to put the funeral, to wash it, to prepare it until they will arrive, and then to pray on it and to be buried under the supervisions of the chairman of the mosque, His Excellency, and the members of the community of the mosque. Alhamdulillah, this is something which Allah likes and Rasulullah likes, and every penny spent on this, Allah rewarding, taking it not by malaika but by almighty hand of Allah Almighty, countless and endless blessing from Allah Almighty, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is rewarded to the ones whom they were sharing and they were serving and they were building and they were constructing, and to the committee of the mosque whom they were also the ones behind all this project to be coming on, to be serving all the Muslims funerals whom they in need for such a place and was not able to be found in between them. Alhamdulillah, Allah Almighty make it now something which Allah Almighty will bless and make the funerals to be well prepared, and then to be going to be prayed on mosque and to be buried quickly without any delay or any paying so much money to arrange and to prepare for the buried. Alhamdulillah, Allah reward them, Mr. Sabri House, Muslim House, and Allah bless the soul of their father, and Allah give long life to their mother, and Allah give to all their descendants, and Allah Almighty give to the committee of the mosque and the chairman of the mosque long life, inshallah, that they will be taking charge for all these places, and they will be surviving the sunnah of Rasulullah, making all the Muslims to be, inshallah, happy by making their funerals to be well respected, not to be in a hurry and to be thrown here or there, not to know what to do, how to arrange. Now everything is ready for them to keep according to the divine, the highly command of Allah Almighty, law of Allah Almighty, Sharia of Allah Almighty, Sharia of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that everything will be under the inspiration and the dressing of the malaika to be well prepared and buried. May Allah reward them and Allah protect them and Allah make everyone of all of you to have long life, healthy life, inshallah. Take off from all of you and all of us and all the ummah of Rasulullah, all kinds of bala and suffering and sickness and burdens, and to cure all whom they are sick and to give them all long life. But must be at one day at the end when the age is going to finish, death must come. And for this the one, if he prepared in this life for his death, then as if he is opening an account in the divine presence of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, that he is thinking in this life for the other life, not forgetting it. Even all people nowadays, no one likes to remember about death, and for this they are running away from such a project to do it, because they don't want to see any sign of death. But death is going to come for everyone, because Allah Almighty swears by His Almightiness that I am going to send death for everyone whom I create to finish them, so that the grave and the sand will clean their bodies, and Yawm Day of Judgment I will survive them by clean bodies which will be then welcomed by Allah Almighty to be questioned, and the one who has good deeds will be in Jannah, and the one who has bad deeds, Allah is the most forgivable one and the most merciful one. Will not say he will go to hell, because it's in the hand of Allah Almighty. If Allah wants to forgive, who will tell Allah Almighty don't forgive? Anyone can. And if Allah Almighty wants to mercy anyone can tell him why you want to mercy him, he was bad? No one can. And Rasulullah saying, Shafa'ati li ahli al-kabair min ummati my shafa'a, for the ones whom they were committing, doing all bad deeds, my shafa'a yawm al-qiyamah, Allah giving me shafa'a for them to save them from punishment and angriness of Allah Almighty. And such things which nowadays Muslims, they are cooperating to make everything easy for them for meeting Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. Allah Almighty will bless and reward by so high maqams and grant them long life, so that inshallah all of them, they will be in the highest rank of paradises, the highest maqam of paradises, in Firdaus al-A'la, in neighborhood to Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. Allah reward all of you. Allah reward the committee of the mosque and the chairman and his assistant, and Allah reward Mr. Sabri Rose and his brother and their mother, and Allah bless the soul of their father by all means of godly blessing and shafa of Rasulullah, and all lights descend on his grave, that his grave to be like a minaret in this graveyard in cemetery, to give lights to all whom they are around him, because he was an awliya of Allah Almighty. إلى شرف النبي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وصحبه وإلى حضرة أستاذنا وأستاذ الصديقيون على نية القبول. Allah to accept this surviving the sunnah of Rasulullah and fulfilling the order of Allah Almighty, obeying Allah, accepting and rewarding, and for all whom they are buried in this cemetery and all graveyards of Muslim community, and to all Muslim and Muslimat and Mu'min and Mu'minat, and for the soul of Hijr House also, and to all the Ahlul Bayt whom they are here in this graveyard, especially the Ahlul Bayt of family, all the families of Maulana Governor Maulana Alawi also. He has here plenty of his family buried and plenty of Ahlul Bayt Rasulullah, they are buried in this cemetery. For all their souls, Billahi Ta'ala al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. السلام عليكم. Now is the chairman will give also something to explain about all these things. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
السلام عليكم.